It's my best friend.
He's your best friend?
Yeah,
Why is that?
just because. I'm sure you can figure it out.
You've been to training camp.
Training camp. Speaking of wide receivers and tips, Kyle was just talking about Juwan in practice. You know, he just sent the guy into the Gatorade cooler. But just like how he had to tell guys like that's just how he blocks. He's not doing anything dirty. What from a defensive perspective are you like? Buddy, it's practice. You need to calm down a little, or do you respect it because that's kind of your tempo?
I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen him dump anybody in the Gatorade in practice, but I mean, that's exactly who he is through and through. He plays the game exactly the way that you want it to be played, especially at that position. I mean, I've said it before. I think he's one of the best football players on our team. He doesn't get all the the attention or the limelight, but he's going to be there in the clutch situations when you need him. He's steady Eddie as it comes. Obviously with the run game stuff and also in the pass game, he just is a very complete player, and I'm really happy he's on our side.
How does Jared talk now compared to the guy you faced when he was on the Rams for this year?
A lot better. Not to say that he wasn't good when we played him back, when he was with the Rams, but I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now with the way that he's playing. I think he finished top 3 in passing yards this season. And, I think just the delivery of the football, his decisiveness, obviously with the amount of playmakers that he has on that side, I think he's the one that's leading that group. And he's the reason why they're at where they're at right now. You need your quarterback to be the leader of the team and the offense and get yourself in a position to be in a game like this.
Looking at the German receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, what are your thoughts on that, and how are you going to cover him?
Yeah, I like him a lot. I love the way that he plays the game. I think I met him for the first time was it last year at the Pro Bowl? I played with his older brother back in high school in LA when we did 7-on-7. I always remember seeing his little brother, just a fiery little cat, who was really talented. Went to USC, had a great career there, and now being with the Lions, he has a chip on his shoulder. I think he got drafted in the 5th round or something like that, 4th round. And, he took that personally, and he's been able to ascend himself into the top tier of receiver play in this league really early in his career. And so he does things the right way. You can tell he plays hard. He practices hard, does things the right way. And he's somebody that we're for sure going to have to be aware of when we play them.
Right. What's so challenging about their run game?
I think that a lot of challenges. I think it starts up front with their offensive line. I think they have one of the best offensive line groups in the league. They have big guys who are athletic, who play with the right mindset, along with the rest of their team. But then also you add the two-headed monster at running back that they have with Montgomery and Gibbs. I think it's a 1-2 punch. You got your physical and you got your speed there with quickness. And that's where the challenges present, because they can run downhill, they can hit you on the outside. So we have to obviously cover all areas.
When you look at their offense in general, do you see similarities to what you guys run here? Is that possibly helpful in terms of one?
Yeah, I do see similarities. Just in terms of what they run, personnel, what they're trying to do, a lot of different weapons, trying to get the ball in everybody's hand to make sure that you can't just stop one thing. You got to make sure you cover all your bases.
This will be your 3rd NFC game in a row, championship game in a row. It will be Detroit's first. What role does experience play on a game like Sunday?
Yeah, it could be used to our advantage, but at the same time, my first NFC championship game back in 19 was my first one. It was at home. I think that's more so the advantage, is playing at home in front of our fans, the faithful, playing on our grass, knowing exactly the environment that we're playing in. I think that's the advantage. I'm not really putting too much into them being there for an NFC championship game. They've proven they can win in the playoffs now, back-to-back games at home for them. So I think the advantage here is playing at home.
Fred Laporta.
Such a high-scoring first-quarter offense. I know you guys always want to get the early stop, but is that a bigger emphasis this week?
I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that. I think, like you mentioned, I think the goal is always to get stops early, to gain that momentum for our team, and knowing how explosive our offense is and how quick they get points on the board. The quicker we can get the ball out of their offense's hands and into our offense, I think that that's the recipe that we want.
Fred, Laporta seems to play with like some veteran traits, but he's a rookie. What do you see when you watch him?
I think you can say that about all the rookies. Honestly, I think they're all dialed in the exact right way. They obviously scouted and drafted guys that are made of the right stuff. I really like Laporta's game. I think in the past game, the fact that he's able to be top 3, top 2 in the league in yards, and the savvy in his routes that you don't really see in young tight ends. Great hands. He can separate with his speed and quickness. He's got everything that you want at the position.
Fred,
Right.
is there more out there for this defense, for your defense to accomplish? And what do you guys put on your plate to do your part to get through to the next round?
Yeah, there's plenty. The time for, hey guys, let's get better. Let's get better this week. Let's get better. Like that's kind of over with. Like you got to perform at your best now. When your best is needed, it's time to really put it out there and lead from the front. Like if we want to win this game, I'm putting it all in defensive hands. I'm saying that all we need to do is score 3 on offense, and we're going to win it for us. That's the mindset that we got to go into this week. We got to go into this week with, and the time, like I said, the time for we'll get it right next week. That's over with. We got to make sure we come out guns a-blazing. We got to set the tone right away, and we got to make sure we're coming out playing our best football.
Fred,
Right.
you mentioned the rookies. I was chuckling reading back about when you were a rookie, and I think Coach gave you the feedback that you were a little too loud on the field. He could hear you from the sideline. What other things things have you worked on with him over the years? And just can you talk about your relationship with him?
Yeah, I just from that jump, trying to play Mike linebacker from coming out of BYU, never playing off the ball backer and never getting calls before. I had a great coach in D'Amico Ryans who obviously played the position at a high level, was one of the best coaches out there. And he told me from the start, he's like, you need to be demanding. You need to say the calls with conviction when you're out there. And I took that and I ran with it, obviously, and I was screaming them, but just little things like that. I think I've learned so much as I've gone on. I'm still learning to this day. Just trying to be the best player I can for this team and be the best team that I can.
Fred, self-described best friend Brandon Ayuk just came in and talked about how it's big to get over the hump. Obviously, the last 2 years losing the NFC Championship game. Would you say the defense has the same mindset of trying to get over that hump that's been the issue last couple of years?
Yeah, I think the last 2 years every year is unique in itself. You talk about last year in Philly, we went into that game with full confidence, believing that we were going to win that game. And Brock goes down, we lose our backup quarterback, and didn't have much of a shot. The year before that, nobody gave us a chance. We barely slipped into the playoffs at the end of the year, and then had to play the Rams, who obviously went on to win that Super Bowl. That was a tight battle all the way through. It's just 1 or 2 plays in the game that win or lose you the game at this point. It's the team that played the best for 3 hours. And, even this past Saturday, were we the best team that played for those 3 hours? We made 1 or 2 plays in the end to make it happen, And so I don't know how this game's going to go on Sunday. I know we gotta play our best football when our best is needed. And whenever those 1 or 2 plays come, you got to make them.
Fred, I know it's not the ultimate goal, but you said throughout the season, I think Juice said after the game, once you lose last year's NFC Championship, you can't just snap your fingers and get back to the game, but what is the sense of satisfaction, and if there is any, just to be back here, 1 win away from going back to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to look at it. I walk up here, I see this little sheet behind me, and I'm like, I can blink, and I remember getting up here, getting ready for Philly, seeing that same exact banner, and the fact that we're here. You work so hard all season long. We talked about it all season. To be able to put ourselves in a position where we could play the NFC Championship game again and also do it at home, how big that is up for us. And we did that. We have that opportunity right now. So how can you not sell out? How can you not give your all to this thing? How can you not make sure you're playing your best ball for 3 hours on Sunday? I know the type of team we have, the type of players we have and talent. I know if we play our best ball for 3 hours, we'll get the job done.
All right, thanks, Fred. We have Nick for you now.